mother was a witch, and when Jessa was just a baby, her mother heartlessly sacrificed her daughter's soul to the devil. Later in life, a demon would come for her soul. Now, Jessa was a teenager in high school, and it was the last week before graduation. That night, she was sleeping in her bed when a dark shadow emerged from the corner and lunged at her. It landed on top of her, knocking the breath out of her. She tried to scream, but nothing came out. She looked into its eyes and saw the fiery pits of hell. It grabbed her so tightly that it left bruises on her arms. She was pinned down and couldn't move. The shadow slowly got up and began to drag Jessa out of bed. It held her with one hand, and with the other, it chanted a spell, opening a portal to hell in her wall. Jessa looked in amazement and fear as she saw souls burning in hell. The demon yanked her hard, hurting her arm. She fell and stumbled onto the floor. The demon yanked her up again and dragged her across the floor and into the portal. The demon dragged her through hell. She saw things one would never want to see, not even in their worst nightmares. It dragged her into a dark cavern, blew some type of dust in her face, and she passed out. When she woke up, she was in a cold, damp, dark cave. She heard screaming and moaning. She looked around and saw nothing but darkness. She tried to get up, but something was holding her down. She moved her leg and felt something hard and cold. It felt like metal. She was chained up. She thought, how in the heck did I end up in the cave? And why am I chained up? Am I having a nightmare? She pinched herself hard, causing her to yell a little. No, it isn't a dream. This is real. She tried everything to get free. She yanked on the chain and tried slipping her foot out, but it didn't matter because she was stuck in a cell anyway. But she was resourceful. She had to stop panicking and think about how to get out of there. She remembered the story her older brothers used to tell her about her mother sacrificing her soul to the devil, which she never believed. She thought her brothers told her this story just to scare her, but it was true. Not long after Jessa was born, her mother befriended some new friends who turned out to be witches and invited her to some witch meetings. She became part of their coven. As part of the initiation, she was told to sacrifice her daughter's soul, and in return, she'd become rich and immortal. So, her mother, Agatha, heartless and selfish, did what she was told and sacrificed her baby's soul. When her husband found out, he was furious. He tried to stop her, but Agatha got angry and began hitting him and throwing things at him. He packed his and his daughter's things and left, moving far, far away to keep her safe from her evil mother. Agatha didn't care that her husband took her daughter or that their marriage was over. She cared about her coven and herself. She barely cared for her sons. Her sons, Shane and Dane, were fed up with her and ended up moving in together. They often wondered what happened to their mother. They remembered her when they were just toddlers. She was kind, caring, loving, and nurturing. As they grew older, their mother changed, especially after she met the coven and was pregnant with their sister. They remembered the night their mother sacrificed their baby sister's soul to the devil. She went into her room when she was sleeping, chanted some spell, and they swore they saw the devil himself. They heard him say, "When your daughter comes of age, a demon will come for her, drag her to hell, and she will stay there forever as my prisoner." They could hear his deep, ominous voice, and it was terrifying. Then, just like that, he was gone. They loved and missed their baby sister so much now that she and their father lived far away. They always kept in touch with her, sending her cards, calling her, and texting her every so often. Due to their busy lives, they finally took some vacation time, flew out, and visited their sister and father. They hadn't seen them since they left. They hated being so far away from their sister and father because they were close. They were unaware that their sister had already left. Shane and Dane had bought their tickets to Aberdeen, Texas, and were on their way to the airport. Jessa's father, Gerald, woke up that morning to wake his daughter before work. He lightly knocked on the door and then called out, "Jessa, honey, are you awake?" He waited a minute for his daughter to answer. After a minute, he opened the door to find his daughter gone. He walked in and looked all around her room, calling her name. The worst thought went through his mind. His daughter had been kidnapped. He wanted to call the police because it was his first instinct. Being a cop himself, he knew he had to wait. It hadn't been a full 24 hours since she went missing. It wasn't like Jessa to leave without telling him. She could be studying at the library like she often did, or she could have spent the night at a friend's house because they were up late studying. He inspected her room, looking for clues when he smelled sulfur, which was odd. Then he found some weird dust on the floor and a piece of torn clothing. He looked closer at the floor and saw drag marks and more dust, which led straight to the wall. "Well, now that doesn't make any sense," Jessa's father said aloud. "Who kidnaps someone and drags them to the wall?" he asked himself. "Something weird is going on, and my ex-wife has something to do with it. I just know it," Gerald exclaimed. "Good thing I know a good medium who is also a CI." Gerald called his informant, and she came out immediately. He took her to Jessa's room so she could look around. "What's up, doll?" he asked. "Well, it's like your daughter was taken by a demon and is being held prisoner in hell. This has everything to do with your ex and what she did to Jessa," Dahlia confirmed. Little did they know that the devil had plans for Jessa. He was going to kill her and keep her soul. Dahlia and Gerald were startled by a loud knock on the door, causing both of them to jump. "I'm coming," Gerald exclaimed. He walked to the door, surprised to find his sons there. "Hi, Shane." "Hi, Dane," Gerald said. "Hi, Dad," the sons returned. "We were here to see our sister. We missed her, and she hasn't been returning our calls," they explained. The father didn't know what to say, so he thought for a minute. "Jessa isn't here right now. She's out with friends," the father said. He didn't want his sons to know that their sister was missing. "Is it okay if we stay here, Dad?" the boys asked in unison. "Sure, one of you can take the couch, and the other can sleep in the guest bedroom," the father answered. The boys went to get settled in, and their father went back to Jessa's room to talk to Dahlia. The boys quietly followed their father and listened to their conversation. "My boys are here, and I don't want them to know just yet that their sister is missing and where she is," They are good boys, but when it comes to certain matters, they can be reckless and hasty. Especially when they find out she's being held prisoner in hell. They have such good hearts, and they care deeply for their sister and will do anything for her. They're best friends. I have never seen such close siblings as my son and daughter are, Gerald said. Oh yes, I can feel their bond and closeness, Dahlia retorted. The boys' mouths fell open when they heard their sister was missing and in hell. They were pretty upset, not only because their sister was in hell, but also because their father didn't tell them right away or come to them for help. This made them feel hurt and a little angry, and now they were on a mission to save their sister. But they knew she was strong, brave, and smart, and would find her way back home. I have to get ready for work now, Dahlia, Gerald announced. Okay, I have to get going anyway. I have to meet a client, Dahlia said. Dahlia left, and Gerald went to get ready for work. Because their mother was a witch, they learned a lot about being a witch and the occult. They knew how to cast spells, open portals, teleport, use mind control, telekinesis, and make magical potions. They made up their minds to get their sister back by using magic. While their father was getting ready for work, the boys snuck into Jessa's room, each holding a talisman. Shane held the necklace up and began chanting the spell, opening a portal to hell. They jumped in without hesitation. They landed in a dark, dank, and dirty place and walked for a while before they saw anything or anyone. Jessa's father heard the noise, rushed into Jessa's room, and saw the portal. He wanted to follow, but thought that someone should stay home in case they returned. He watched his sons run and disappear. I have to have faith that my sons will return with my daughter, he said aloud. Meanwhile, Jessa had to stop struggling and start thinking. She was smart and knew how to get herself out of this jam. She used her hairpin to pick the lock on her chains and free herself. She found her way out of the cave, but she wasn't free yet. She had to dodge lava and flames and avoid demons. As she was dodging them, she heard someone call her name and saw her brothers. Shane, Dane, I'm here, Jessa cried out. Jessa, is that you? Shane and Dane called out. Yes, she cried out again. They found their sister and ran to her. They group hugged and teleported back home. Oh, my baby girl, you're home, Gerald cried out, holding his daughter tight, and Jessa was in tears, holding her father tight. Then Gerald embraced his sons, proud of what they had done. Gerald and his sons knew that this wasn't over yet. They knew they had to protect Jessa at all costs from the devil, and the devil would not give up on getting her. They were at least thankful she was home safe for now. From that day on, they never left her side, and she was always protected. When she finally went to college, her brothers went with her, ensuring she stayed safe from harm. They made sure she had a good, safe, and happy life.